All right. Can everybody see me and hear me? Looks like we're live. Looks like we're good. Okay. Okay. So on my screen, I'm watching on ESPN. Maybe I'll shift to NFL Network at some point. Got 2:40 left until it starts. And then obviously we are hunkering down. So, a couple of things. You can see the first part of my big board on screen already. I also set up tiers, although the tiers are kind of just flavor. I know they don't necessarily tell you much, but we are going to go through the big board as the day goes on. I will take players off. So that's the way things are going to go tonight. And I'll have the most recent pick up on screen at all times, as well as whoever is currently up to pick. And then we'll be doing, of course, the Seattle picks on screen at all times. So, um, exciting times, people. Haven't really heard a lot that I thought was all that compelling so far in terms of rumors. It doesn't feel like anything has particularly strong basis. All right. We're just about to get underway here, people. Coverage is starting now. Okay, so we got a couple minutes here. I'm going to let people gather up. But we are about to get underway here. So I will be right back. I got to grab some upstairs. All right, and we're off. It is a packed house in Pittsburgh. All right, so we're going to sit here and watch for however long this takes, 3.5, 4 hours. And possibly see the Seahawks trade into day 2, but so it is. I'm definitely not going to show the draft on screen. I can tell you that right now. I can't. Guys, come on, guys. You want me to get into trouble? Both my sugar gliders have passed away. Both my sugar gliders have passed away. I don't have one to show. Raiders are not technically on the clock yet. They're doing a bunch of old former Steelers coming out to play to the crowd, but they'll be on the clock any moment now. Yeah, they were old. Sugar gliders live like 12 years or so on average. One of mine died early, but the other one made it like pretty close to 12 years. That was months ago though, so it's not fresh or anything like that. Okay. We got a lot of former Steelers players here. Wow, Terry Bradshaw, whose brain barely works. Hopefully they don't let him get up to the mic. If he gets the microphone in his hands, he's liable to say something that will not come across well. Yeah, I feel like it's either Price or Johnson, and I feel like if it's Price, we're trading back a little bit. So if we stick, I think it's going to be Johnson. Maybe TJ Parker if he falls. But we're going to have to see how things go. Some people think Johnson will be gone by then. Okay, Raiders on the clock. 7:53. Now, we all know what's going to happen here. There's not really much drama. And I do like Mendoza a lot. I don't love him for... But I do think he is a top 2 player in this draft. So assuming the Raiders do that, I cannot complain. I cannot object too hard. Hmm. Yeah, I like Mendoza more than I thought I would. I really thought I was going to come out of the evaluation feeling like he was an RPO merchant, but even though I think there is some truth to that, I don't think it's as big a problem as I thought. You just have to be willing to run RPO with him, and that's kind of the problem with Kubiak. But you move past that, I think you've got something. I think there's still a lot of good stuff that Mendoza can do, though, to help overcome that, even if it's not perfect. Like, I don't think he's as good as, Andrew Luck, obviously, or Joe Burrow, but I do think that Mendoza is a valid first overall pick in a draft like this. You're doing pretty good. He's also bigger than I thought. I didn't know he was like 6'6". Yep, we're getting Mendoza highlights, even though the Raiders haven't officially done it yet, because we all know what's up. Mhm. 5 minutes left for the Raiders. What if the Raiders let the timer expire and the Jets take the pick? They just take Mendoza, right? Is that the funniest thing that's ever happened in NFL history? If that happens? Hey, Power. Thank you. Okay. The Raiders draft room is shaking hands. Is that Clint? Yeah, that's Clint. Pick is in. Pick is in. All right, Raiders. Let's lock it in. Let's punch it in, baby. By the way, how do I sound, guys? People in the chat, let me know. How's my audio? How am I sounding? I hope the Jets take Reese, but there's a lot of buzz around it being Bailey right now. Our OC is the former 49ers tight end coach, Brian Fleury. Sounds great? Okay, cool. Okay, sounds like I sound fine. So they're comparing Mendoza to Drew Bledsoe. I think Mendoza is a little bit more mobile than that. But that's not a terrible comparison. I think the defining trait of Drew Bledsoe is how immobile he was, though. That's the issue. He had an incredible arm. All right. Here comes Roger. Yep, Mendoza. Get Mendoza. Mendoza. All right, he's off the big board. So the New York Jets are up. They're saying it's going to be Bailey or Reese. Right now, it seems like it's Bailey. I hope it's Reese. I think Reese is better. And I don't want Reese going to the Cardinals because I think he's the best player in this draft. Jets have 5 minutes, 5 seconds. 5 minutes, 5 seconds. All right, now it's time for the draft to actually get started here. The Jets are going to throw us our first curveball, and then we go from there. Jets are not giving each other high fives yet. Some people are saying the Cowboys are going to trade up with the Cardinals. Hasn't happened yet. That'd be interesting, though. Who would the Cowboys be trading up for? Reese? That'd be like the ideal replacement for Micah. Pick is in. All right, come on, Jets. Don't mess it up. By the way, I will be going live. I will be cutting a video during the Cardinals pick just for fun. Why not, right? We're not going to have a lot to talk about today, so we may as well do a little bit with the Cardinals and Rams and Niners picks. Now that Jets fan looks nervous. Dude, she looks scared. They just showed a Jets fan on the ESPN feed. That's what the Jets have done to their fans, people. He looked nervous. I love McCoy, but even I couldn't get behind that. Here we go, Jets. David Bailey. Oh, boy. Okay. That means the Cardinals are on the clock. Now, no disrespect to David Bailey. I did have him number 5 on my big board, but I think Reese is better. Hopefully I'm wrong, because I think the Cardinals will get Reese here if they don't trade down. All right. David Bailey, you are off the big board, and we're getting into a third tier here. Like David Bailey being the best edge in this class. Think about him compared to somebody like an Abdul Carter. It's not the same. All right, here we go. All right. I'm going to give it another minute, then I'm going to start cutting the video about the Cardinals, and then I'll upload that. Okay. All right, people, the draft is just getting underway over here. The Raiders have picked. We all knew what they were going to do, and they did go ahead and do it. And the New York Jets have picked David Bailey, number 2, which officially started the draft because that was the first pivot point. Now the Cardinals are up, and I thought I'd go ahead and start recording a little video here because the Seahawks are not going to do a lot today. They may not do anything today for all we know, except for trading the pick. So therefore, I thought it would be fun to explore what our division rivals are doing, and the Cardinals find themselves in a pretty favorable spot right now, in my opinion. You've got a couple different options here that I think are very, very good for them, and then a couple that I think are less good but still workable. You have what seems to be most likely to me right now, and this is, again, getting recorded before the pick is even in, much less us knowing about it. They can draft Arvell Reese here. In my opinion, Arvell Reese is the best player in this draft. So if they end up with Arvell Reese, I think they have done very, very well for themselves. And I believe that they are coming away with the best overall player. This video is sponsored by Prize Picks. More on them later. But the thing that I'm really trying to get to here is that at number 3, they can get the guy that I think is the best player. So that's very good. Now, the other thing they can do is they can trade down. There was a rumor that they're going to trade down with the Dallas Cowboys. Some people have floated a rumor they're going to trade down with the Los Angeles Rams. Some people have floated the rumor they're going to trade down with some other team that is down in like the 10, 11, 12 range, somewhere around there. And because Arvell Reese is still there, like, could you imagine a team like the Dallas Cowboys trading up for Arvell Reese? Think about what they would give up, knowing that they traded Micah Parsons less than a year ago. If they trade for Arvell Reese now, that is something that would probably really excite them because Arvell Reese is very much like Micah Parsons, and they would probably be willing to give up a lot to do that. So if the Cowboys do that, the Cardinals are going to come out of this looking very good. Now, there are a few other things they could do. I don't think they're going to draft Caleb Downs or Sonny Styles, but you also have the distinct possibility that they draft Jeremiah Love, which I'm not enamored with that, but I still think it would be pretty good. I think Love will be a good NFL player. If they come away from this with Jeremiah Love, I think they did all right. They could even take Mauigoa, who I think is a top 6 player in this draft. So if they come away with him at number 3, I think they did pretty well. And they're beefing up the offensive line. Usually that is not a bad idea. Now, I have concerns about Mauigoa maybe having to slide inside, but I think he'll be good even if he has to slide inside. So the Cardinals have options, and a lot of them are pretty good. To me, the only thing they can do here that's bad would be if they actually decide to pull the Ty Simpson trigger here. And I just can't believe they're going to do that. That seems a little too ridiculous to me. They have 1 minute and 14 seconds left on the clock before their pick is going to be... Okay, there we go. The pick is in. The pick is in. So the only thing they can do here that I think would be a big missed opportunity would be to take Ty Simpson or maybe somebody like a Ruben Bain, or to a certain extent, I'd even go with Caleb. No, I actually think the Caleb Downs pick, if they made it, would be fine, but I just don't think they're going to do that. So they've got some opportunities here, but the pick is in, should be announced any minute now. I think I see Goodell walking to this stage. No, that's not him. But yeah, unfortunately, there's a very good chance because we know they're not trading now. There's no trade. The Cardinals put their pick in. The fact that the timer ran as long as it did does kind of indicate that the Cardinals were trying to trade it, or at least open to trading it. But I believe they are going to get Reese. And I'm just not a huge fan of that because I think Reese is great. So shout out to the Arizona Cardinals if they do indeed pull this off. If they come away from this with Arvell Reese, then I think you got to give them a lot of credit for nailing it. They found the right player. Okay, so just waiting here. Given the fact that we know they're going to make this pick, I would hope they end up going with Jeremiah Love. That's my hope here. And I think Love is very good, but he's a running back. And I don't view him as being generational the way I did somebody like Bijan. So that's kind of my hope here. Okay, looks like Goodell's coming to the stage. So who's joining our division first, guys? We're about to find out. Here we go. I'm not looking at the screen, by the way, but I do have the chat on screen, so somebody's already probably posted it in there, so don't look at the chat if you don't want to get spoiled on it a little ahead of time here. Here we go. Jeremiah Love. Okay, Jeremiah Love. Now, look, I don't think that's a bad pick. I don't. But you can't tell me that Jeremiah Love is going to do more to help your team win than Arvell Reese, or even a guy like a Sonny Styles to me, or a Caleb Downs. So I am down with that. I am happy with that. Given the fact that they didn't trade the pick, given the fact that they weren't going to do Ty Simpson, to me, this is kind of the best case scenario of anything that was realistic. I like Jeremiah Love, but I see some issues there that others don't. And to me, he's a top 10 player in this draft, but I don't think he's a top 5 player. So let's go. All right, so Jeremiah Love is joining the division. So we know now that there was some rumor that the Rams were going to trade up for Jeremiah Love. That's off the table now. The Titans and Giants were thinking about taking him. That's obviously a wrap now. So we in my mind, it's not amazing. Of course, I prefer the Cardinals just draft a punter. But overall, if they're coming away from this with Jeremiah Love, I kind of feel like we dodged a little bit of trouble there. Much rather deal with Jeremiah Love than Arvell Reese. If you like sports, the best way to make them better and more exciting is using Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. Prize Picks, all you got to do is pick more or less on your favorite players' projections and build lineups with a few taps. It's the daily fantasy stuff, but it's made super easy over there. Whatever sport you're into, give it a shot. And right now, Prize Picks is hooking up users with $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. All you have to do is use promo code HMA. I've had a great time on Prize Picks so far. It makes this daily fantasy thing very easy, and it makes watching the games way more exciting. Be sure to check out the social feeds feature so you can share lineups with your friends and tail partners or even fade their picks. Right now, Prize Picks is offering odds on the NFL draft. You have who's going to go where, what each team is going to do, how many of each position is going to go in each round, and so on and so on. Get on over to Prize Picks. Take advantage of that. So download Prize Picks today, America's #1 sports app, and remember to use the promo code HMA. And remember, always gamble responsibly. Okay, so I'm going to say we're off to a pretty decent start today. Yes, Jeremiah Love is a good running back, but at the end of the day, I do view him as a running back. And that can't hurt me the way a player like Arvell Reese could have, because to me, Reese is the one guy I look at in this draft and think to myself, I'm feeling a future Hall of Famer. Not to say that he's guaranteed to do it, of course, but he's the one guy I look at and go, I see something truly special there. The one guy. And now he's available at number 4. So shout out to whoever gets him in the next few picks here. But Jeremiah Love is now a Cardinal. So, good player, but I think they could have gotten a truly special player, and they didn't do it. But let me know what you guys think. More stuff coming later. The Rams are going to pick in a little bit here. The Niners are going to pick later today, presumably. And we'll be talking about our division rivals a little bit because that's what we got to talk about for the most part. That's what happens when you win the Super Bowl. Your division rivals get to pick higher than you, typically. Okay. See you guys later. Go Hawks. More stuff coming soon, but Jeremiah Love goes to the Cardinals. Rival Watch is a success in my book. And let's get it. Go Hawks. All right, Titans pick is in, by the way. So let's take Jeremiah Love off the big board here. Okay, I think I like this format a little bit better. Titans going Reese? I would think so. Could the Titans take Downs or Styles? I don't think it's ridiculous. Maybe there's some fear around Reese because not everybody buys into the Micah Parsons model. Hmm. Hmm. First couple picks, Mendoza, Bailey, and then Love went to the Cardinals just now. Mendoza to the Raiders, Bailey to the Jets, Love to the Cardinals. Good start to the day, in my opinion. I'm not. That's a good point, Moses. Okay, here comes Roger, by the way. Whoa. Carnell Tate just went fourth. No way. What is going on, people? Carnell Tate just went. No way, guys. Okay, I think Tate's a top 10 player in this draft, but not top 5. And what is Tate gonna I don't get it. Did Arvo Reese do something stupid in the last few days, guys? Is there something going on here that I don't know about? Okay, Giants pick is up, but I don't know what to say about that. Okay, Tate is off the board, which promotes Kenyon Sadiq to the screen. So, Giants, what are they going to do? Can the Giants take Reese? They have so many edge rushers as is. If they take Reese, they kind of have to give away, what's his name? Thibodeau. I wonder if the Giants can do it. I mean, they already took Abdul Carter. They may have to not take Reese here. I don't know. Reese could be in a little bit of a free fall right now. I don't know what to expect at this moment. Giants. Oh, wait, no. That's still the Titans. My bad. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think Carnell Tate's the best receiver in this draft, but I don't see anything that special there. Yeah. Yeah, if somebody really good falls into the lap of the Rams, I'm going to be very annoyed. I think Washington would save us, though. Washington would take him, right? They've got Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn would look at Reese and think, I can do with him what I did with Micah when I was with the Cowboys. Reese has got to get taken by then. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like Tate, but I don't see anything all that special there. I think he's just the best receiver in a pretty bad at the top receiver class. All right, let's see if the Giants take Reese. If the Giants take Arvell Reese, then that's interesting because then they're kind of overloaded at that position. I know that Arvell Reese can play off-ball linebacker, but they are so loaded at edge, which is not a bad thing. Let's be fair here. "21st century schizoid man. Do, do, do." Whoa, we got a Chiefs trade up with Cleveland. Okay, Giants pick is in, but people are saying the Chiefs traded up to 6. What would they trade up to 6 for? They don't need a linebacker. Caleb Downs? Oh, maybe this is Mauigoa. I don't see the Chiefs trade up yet, by the way. ESPN hasn't mentioned it yet, but I've gotten multiple people who are telling me the Chiefs are trading up. Mm, 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 mm. No, the Titans already picked. They picked Tate. They picked Carnell Tate out of nowhere. I'm still kind of flabbergasted, but you know. ESPN still hasn't said that the Chiefs have traded up. They're behind. They still have the Browns in slot 6. So the Chiefs traded up 3 spots and gave up a 3rd and a 5th. Okay. I would have to look at the charts, but off the top of my head, that's probably a pretty decent one. I wonder if NFL Network's doing a better job. You know what? You know what? Let's try NFL Network. ESPN's annoying me. If they're that far behind, then I'm going in NFL Network. Yeah, they have it. They're showing commercials too, though. Love got picked by the Cardinals. Yeah, I know Carnell Tate's good, Jake, but I still don't understand why you're taking him at 4. I would trade back if I want Carnell Tate a little bit. I don't know. Just not into it. Okay, here comes the Giants pick. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to me, like Trey Benson is still legit. I don't know why the Cardinals wouldn't just let Trey Benson be their running back. Like Benson's good. I know Love's better, but all right, pick is coming. I know they're dragging their feet a little bit on this one. They got somebody up there to announce it. Arvell. Man, they are loaded at that edge rusher position now, ain't they? Okay, go. Okay, KC's up now. All right, say goodbye to Arvell Reese and the Californium tier. So that promotes Jermod McCoy and Caden Proctor to the screen. 1 second. All right. So yeah, Chief's going to be on the clock here. All right, we got 270 people in here right now, approximately. So thank you everybody for joining me tonight for the stream. I know we're not going to go for quite a while still. We are still probably close to 3 hours away from the Seahawks picking. But I do want to say thank you everybody who's here early. Please like the stream if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new and you like daily Seahawks content. We're going to be doing draft stuff for the next few days. We're going to be streaming the whole thing. We're going to be breaking down pretty much everything that happens. And if you want to go above and beyond that, there are a few ways to do so. First, we haven't done any donations yet. Super chats or tips, the messages will be read aloud on stream. So if you super chat or tip, it's guaranteed that I'll see your comment and respond to it in chat, and it'll get read out loud on stream. You can super chat by clicking the $ in the chat. You can tip by clicking the link near the top of the description. Those are the best ways to help out. You can also become a channel member for $2, $5, or $15 a month. I also do have a Patreon you can pledge to, link in the description. So any way that you can help out is appreciated. And let's move along to what the Kansas City Chiefs are going to do. There are 32 draft picks today, Matsu. 32. Big dumper. It depends on what's there when we pick. I can't answer that question without knowing who's going to be there. But there are definitely players I think can be there who I think would be worth the pick, but we're going to have to get there first. Hmm. Yeah, the off-field issues with Ruben Bain changed things, Philip. The off-field issues made me reconsider my position. I didn't want to do it, but I had to do it. I felt like. Yeah, we may not pick tonight, guys. Don't be shocked. Yeah, I think the Giants are going to trade Thibodeau now. I'm not a huge Thibodeau guy, especially at the money, but he's probably going to get moved somewhere. All right, Chiefs pick is in. Kansas City. And then we have the football team. All right, here comes Goodell. Chiefs pick is going. Ooh, Mansour Delane. I mean, I like him. I don't know if I would have traded up for him. I think there's a decent chance Delane could have been there at 9. I don't know why they traded up for him. I like him, but I'm a little bit confused about that one. Mansour Delane, you are off the big board. And that means Spencer Fano is promoted to the screen. So does Washington take Caleb Downs or Sonny Styles? That feels right. I don't hate that pick or anything. I just don't know why they traded up for it. I think you could have stood pat at 9 and probably gotten him. And even if you don't, you can just take McCoy, who might be better. It's just the injury stuff.
When you win it all, you get permission to get weird the next year. Embarrassed smiley face emoji. Do you think John's plotting something?
I don't think he's plotting a trade up, if that's what you're talking about. I don't see that, no. I think he may be plotting a trade down, but I don't think we're going to do anything crazy. And, like, who's a high-profile player we could trade for? Like, are we going to do the Max Crosby trade? I don't think so. But thank you for the $20, first donation of the day from Jake. Appreciate that. McCoy would be my dream, but I just can't imagine he falls far enough. Especially now that Delane's off the board. McCoy's probably the next corner gone. Tyson for Washington? Who? Tyson. Oh, Jordan Tyson? Ugh. Humble Wizard, thank you for the $10. Appreciate the support. I don't think there's a message associated with that super chat, so thank you. I think the Chiefs could have gotten Delane at 9, but maybe they knew something. Maybe the Saints were going to take him. I guess that's not unfathomable, so I don't want to rule it out. But I would have expected him to be there at 9 personally. And I'm a big Delane fan. I think he's great. I'm not saying anything bad about him, but that's interesting to me. Okay, Washington's pick is in. Okay, then the Saints are going to be up after Washington here. I assume Washington's taking Downs or Styles. Okay, here we go. Trade back for Cisse. I'd do that. I like Cisse. Let's see here. Here we go. Sonny Styles. Okay. Good pick. Sonny Styles. I think that's good. All right. He's off the board. And that means we are promoting Keldrick Falk to the board, who, for some reason, everybody hates Keldrick Falk now. I don't know why. Does anyone know why in the last week everyone decided they don't like Keldrick Falk anymore? I feel like something happened there that I'm not aware of. Okay, the Saints are up next. And Cleveland picks at 9. If Cleveland can get Downs here, that's actually really nice because they probably would have taken him at 6. If the Browns trade down to 9 and still get Downs, who I would guess would be their guy, maybe Mauigoa. But Mauigoa, same thing. I think they actually did really well. Uh, okay. I don't know. To me, Styles was a better player and has more value than Love. So I'm pretty happy with the way things are breaking. Who do you think the Rams are going to pick up? At this point, I want to say that they're going to end up. They're not going to do Ruben Bain, right? That's become too risky. Apparently, the smart money's on them taking like Fano, like an offensive lineman. But it wouldn't shock me if they just took the best receiver, like Lemon or Tyson. In fact, I think that's more likely. I think they're going to take one of the top 2 receivers, Lemon or Tyson. Oh, Sonny Styles' father played in the NFL. Yeah, I think Downs is gonna go to either New Orleans or Cleveland here. Or he's not gonna get past the Giants. There's no way. Downs is gonna go to New York, I think. Minimum. All right, pick is in for the Saints. So they're not trading either. Yeah, the um the clock got shortened this year. Usually it's 10 minutes, now it's 8. So things are moving quicker. Hmm, mm-mm. Yeah, if the Rams get Downs, I'm not thrilled about that. But I'm not worried about that. I think he's going to be gone in a couple picks here. Okay, come on. Let's get the Saints pick in. Yeah, Sadiq would make sense for the Rams too. Although they'd have to turn around and trade one of their tight ends, but that's easy enough. They might have to dump Colby or something. Do you think Thibodeau could come here because of Reese? I think Thibodeau will get traded. I just don't know to who. I'm not a huge Thibodeau guy, but there is a certain degree of appeal to that, especially if you make him play on that contract year. But it's so expensive is the thing. Thibodeau just doesn't really rub my rhubarb the right way. I don't know what it is. He seems like he's not into football the way that you would like a football player to be. That's my read. All right, Saints pick is coming in. All right, here we go. Saints. Wow, Jordan Tyson. He was 21 on my board, so yikes. Okay, well, I mean, what the hell do I know? But I am not a fan of that. I think Mekhi Lemon's a better receiver than Tyson, but I wouldn't have taken either of them there. Well, Katie, I don't know what else they would say, but that doesn't mean they're not going to trade him. I mean, I don't blame them for saying that, but I would expect them to still. There aren't enough snaps to go around. Mm-hmm. If the Rams get Reuben Bain, I'd have a bad feeling. Granted, there is upside there because he could be a big bust, but I'm terrified of Reuben Bain ending up being one of the best players in this class if he can get past his character issues. Who would have to be available at 16 for you to trade our draft for? I don't know if I'm trading my draft for anybody that's left. The one guy I would have done that for is Reese. And Reese is gone. Hi, Simpson incoming. What, to the Browns? Oh, boy. Yeah, I don't know. I know people like receivers, but I just don't think this receiver class is all that. I'm just not feeling it. I don't think it's egregious, but I don't think it's good. Okay, so the Browns, if they get downs here, I think they did awesome. Yeah, if the Browns pick is in, if they get downs here, shout out to them. And then we got the Giants pick at 10. This is the Dexter Lawrence pick, so let's see what they do. If the Giants get downs, oh mama. Yeah, we've had some surprises. We've already had 2 wide receivers go. Okay, here we go. Browns. Spencer Fano. Don't mind it. Don't mind it. Would not have been what I did, but I like it. I respect it. I guess Mauigoa's arm length is scaring people off because there's no reason why Mauigoa should be here and Spencer Fano is off. Okay. I don't know how to feel about that. Okay, Miami's picking 11th. Giants pick is in. All right, here we go. Giants coming in here. Oh, there goes Mauigoa. Okay. I think that's pretty good. However, Caleb Downs is now officially slipping, which means the Rams are going to be able to pick either Downs, Bain, Sadiq, or McCoy, I think. Maybe Bain's off their board because of character stuff, but they'll have their shot at least two of those guys. Should we trade up for Downs? I'd be willing to do that. I doubt John would be, but I'd probably be willing to do that. Okay, so anyway, Makai Lemon is now on the screen. Oh, Francis Mauigoa grew up in American Samoa. You think he ever met Saul Goodman or Jimmy McGill? To me, the only big surprise right now is that Downs is still on the board. Bain falling is not a surprise because of the character stuff. Dallas could get Downs, yeah. Cowboys. Do the Cowboys get Ruben Bain? He feels like a cowboy. By the way, did I misspell Ruben Bain's name on the big board? Can someone check? Is it R-E-U or R-U-E? Yeah, I think the Giants did pretty good with their picks. I think that's pretty strong. They got Reese. They got Mauigoa. I think the Giants did great. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about the Bain thing anymore. It's a huge risk, but I think he's better than Bailey. Okay, I just had one person tell me it's R-E-U and another person told me it's R-U-E. It can only be one, people. I'm pretty sure it's R-U-E, though, and I did misspell it, so I'm just going to go ahead and change it. Wait, did Dallas just trade up with Miami? Did Dallas and Miami just swap picks? Or am I going crazy? I thought Dallas was picking after Miami. I think they just did a trade here. All right. Wow. Okay. Let's get some action in here. So Dallas probably trading up for Downs. YouTube suppresses you? No, I don't think so. All right, Dallas pick is in. Pick is in for the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, so does Miami keep Bain? I didn't even think about that, but Bain played in Miami. So would they be motivated to take Ruben Bain because he's the local guy? If the Ravens pick with Sadiq on the board, they got to take him, right? That feels like that would be fun. Okay, come on. Let's get the Dallas pick here. Come on. It'll be really weird for Dallas to trade up one spot unless they're going to take Downs. Do we know what Miami got in that trade, by the way? I haven't seen anything yet. All right, we're still in commercials, people. We are in a holding pattern. They got 2/5. Yeah, that's probably about right for one spot. Okay, that's not so bad. All right, come on, Dallas. Let's see it. Let's get it. We're almost at 300 viewers, by the way, guys. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. We will continue to pick up more viewers as we get closer to our pick, I'm sure. Hmm. Okay, here come Mr. Raja Goodell. Caleb Downs. Come on down, Caleb Downs. All right, he is off the board. Miami's on the clock. If Miami takes Ruben Bain here, that's got to be a hometown thing. I guess they could take Sadiq. I don't know. Miami could do a lot of different things. They don't really have a lot going on right now. So the only thing Miami couldn't do really is take a running back, right? And they're not going to. And they're pretty good on the offensive line, too, because they've got Patrick Paul. Aaron Brewer's a good center. So they don't necessarily need more offensive linemen, but Rams may get Lemon. I'm fine with that. Lemon's good, but I'm not over the moon excited about him. I'm just not. Okay, so let's see what the Dolphins do here. I do think that's a good pick for Dallas, by the way. I think they did their thing. The Rams aren't even on the clock, Hero. Stop talking about Ty Simpson. Come on. I've seen some mocks that have Bane falling to 19, so maybe the character stuff is just too much. Yeah, stop with the fake spoilers, people. It's not that funny. Guys, the Rams aren't even on the clock. Miami's on the clock right now. How can the Rams pick be spoiled when they're not even up? Am I that far behind? Is NFL Network that far behind? How is NFL Network that far behind if that's real? Hold on. Um Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Corbin Smith just tweeted about Ty Simpson. Wait a minute. How am I so far behind? Okay, I'm not going to do it until I see it on TV, but yeah, Albert Breer just tweeted about Ty Simpson. I'm 2 picks behind. Ads? Well, that shouldn't make a difference. Okay, whatever. Okay, who's Miami taking? Let's get this out of the way first. Okay, so I'm going to cut a video, but I'm going to just have to pretend I don't know about the Ty Simpson thing, which technically I don't. Hayden Proctor. That's a pretty good pick. I guess they're going to move him to right tackle because of Patrick Paul. Okay, so Caden Proctor is now off the big board. Ruben Bain's probably going to cascade down pretty hard now. All right. Okay, people are saying I am behind, which is annoying. But okay. Anyway. Okay, so let's see what the Rams do here. I'm going to go ahead and turn this chat off on the stream for the video. And then I'm going to act like I don't know about the Simpson thing. I'll bring the chat back after I'm done with the video. All right. All right, everybody. Good evening. We are about an hour, a little more than an hour deep into the draft, and we are now down to the LA Rams. The LA Rams pick is about to come in. The Dolphins just took Caden Proctor, excuse me. And luckily for us, the Cowboys took Caleb Downs. So feeling pretty good about that personally. Feeling pretty happy about the fact that Downs went off because he was the one guy that really was falling that I did not want to see go to a team like the Rams. I'm very happy that he got taken just before the Rams went. So now we are here and we are trying to figure out what we want the Rams to do. I think that the obvious hope would be that they take Ty Simpson. That doesn't seem very realistic to me. So I do think that there is some tiny possibility of that happening, but you got to believe they're going to make a pick that is designed to help them win now in 2026, not a pick for the future post Matt Stafford. So of the things that they can do, my top player left is Ruben Bain, but the character concerns with Ruben Bain, and the Rams pick is in now, by the way, may preclude that. So what are some other things they can do? This video is sponsored by Prize Picks. More on them in a moment. Sadiq is very intimidating to me. If the Rams get him, I think they would have a field day with him going all over the field. Okay, yeah, Rams pick is in, but we're not going to learn about it for a couple minutes here. So let's go through some options here. Sadiq, very intimidating, very good. Matchup nightmare at the tight end position, although we do have a good kind of counter to him with Eamon Worry. I still don't want to deal with Sadiq in the division. Jermod McCoy, I don't think the Rams would do that because they spent so much on corners this offseason, but that would also be intimidating because he may end up being the best corner in this draft, I think, very easily. Keldrick Falk doesn't really seem like he fits what they do. Dylan Thieneman, kind of interesting. My best guess would be Mekhi Lemon. I think they want another wide receiver. I think Mekhi Lemon, the other two major wide receivers in this draft are already off the board. That kind of feels like the pick to me if I had to guess. So as of right now, where I'm sitting, I think the Rams are going to go with Mekhi Lemon, and I'm relatively at peace with that. I think he's a good player. I think he's a top 20 player in this draft, but I also don't view him as being some truly special elite prospect. And I don't look at him and I see somebody that I'm really scared of facing. Like, the Rams are going to get somebody good here. I'd rather them get somebody that I do view as a little bit flawed, like a Mekhi Lemon, even though I do think he's pretty good. Now, there are some curveballs they could throw, but those are the main options. If they want to go offensive line, you have Blake Miller. You could put him at right tackle. I know they just lost Havenstein, but the issue with that would just be the fact that you already kind of feel like you have your replacement right tackle because Havenstein didn't play a lot last year, and you were able to move forward with what you had. Monroe Freeling, even though he's been falling lately, could be interesting. Avion Terrell, if you're not a fan of McCoy's injury stuff and you want another corner. I think once you get down to that point in the big board, you're kind of reaching a little too much. So I think we've kind of hammered in on what the likely outcomes here. And for me, I really don't want to see them get Bain because I have a bad feeling that Bain would figure it out if he goes to a rival team. I just have that feeling because I think Bain could be one of the three best players in this draft.
Dan
But the character
Orlovsky
issues
got to
hurt.
the Rams office.
Oh, Jake, thank you for the $4.99. Don't know what that means yet, but maybe we'll know about it in a couple minutes here when the Rams announce their pick. But yeah, I don't want them to get Bain, and I don't want them to get Sadiq. Everything else, sure. Mekhi Lemon's fine. Blake Miller's fine. Even Jermod McCoy, because of the injury risk, I get it. But to me, Bane and Sadiq would kind of, it would hurt a little bit. All right, we're back from commercial, so we should be finding out any minute now. We got off to a good start today. We did. I think the Rams the Cardinals getting love was a good outcome. So now let's just hope the Rams do not do something that makes us not enjoy life twice a year for the next several years. Like the guy they get here, if they hit right, that could, well, I think we all know that the right draft pick can change the balance of power in a division. All right, so interesting moment here. Remember, this is the pick the Rams got with the Falcons draft slot. So they only have this pick because the Falcons decided to be very foolish last year. And okay, they're celebrating in the war room for the Rams. Is that No, okay. Stafford's not there. I see McVay. That's Snead. And come on. Come on, Roger. Come on, Roger. What's taking so long? Let's get this Rams pick on the board. Let's get out of here. We don't have all day here. They probably already know what the pick is on X, by the way. They probably knew 10 minutes ago. They are milking this broadcast. Come on. Yeah, Daniel Jeremiah has Bane as his best player left, and then the guard from Penn State, whose name is really hard to pronounce, and then Lemon, then Sadiq. Wow, he's got EMW at 15. Yeah. Come on, guys. Come on. Let's get this Rams pick out. I'm trying to make a video here. This is the one that scares you. This is, I mean, like the Cardinals, they've been not a good team for so long. Even them getting a really good player doesn't intimidate you that much. The Niners feel like they're attacking this short-term future so poorly. It almost feels like it doesn't really matter what they do in the draft that much because you know they're just going to end up broken down at the end of the year like they typically are. But this Rams pick, this is scary. This is the one that's like, they may come out of this looking, okay, here we go with Roger. Like they're the team that makes you think they may be too much for us. And there's not a ton we can do about it if they play their cards right. Like it's at least a consideration, isn't it? All right, Roger. Oh, they did it. Ty Simpson. No. Okay, so yeah, the Rams just took Ty Simpson. It is official. Wow, guys. I don't know what to say about that, but that is a cause to celebrate in my book. I think that's a terrible pick. I think Simpson isn't worthy of being a first-round pick. I think that he's worthy of being a second-round pick only because this draft is bad. And more than anything, that's not a pick that's going to help you right now because you still got Stafford. And there was talk earlier this week about the Rams wanting to extend Stafford. What if they do that and Stafford plays good for a few years? And even if he doesn't, Ty Simpson's not going to help you get to where you want to get to in 2026. Wow. Okay, I don't know what to say. I'm kind of shocked right now. Ty Simpson. So, non-factor for the 2026 season in all likelihood. Not really that great of a prospect anyway, in my mind. There are some things about him that are good, but to me, it's not radically different than Mac Jones. He's just kind of a game manager. Yeah, I don't know what I'm missing here. And McVay has a high standard of quarterbacking. Do you really think Ty Simpson's going to be better in this league than Jared Goff? Because remember, Jared Goff was not good enough for McVay. McVay ran him out of there because it wasn't good enough. I don't think Ty Simpson has a ceiling anywhere near what Jared Goff's ceiling is. So that's a shocker to me. And as a Seahawks fan, I am thrilled. Great start, guys. Cardinals took a running back at number 3, and now the Rams have taken an overrated quarterback prospect at 13. The only downside, we may not be able to trade our 32nd overall pick for a big haul because there's no longer going to be a quarterback worth taking there. Simpson was kind of the play. Simpson's now off. But other than that, this was the best case scenario. Ty Simpson, yeah, they can have him. Like, even if he ends up being good, have fun with that. If you like sports, the best way to make them better and more exciting is using Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. Prize Picks, all you got to do is pick more or less on your favorite players' projections and build lineups with a few taps. It's the daily fantasy stuff, but it's made super easy over there. Whatever sport you're into, give it a shot. And right now, Prize Picks is hooking up users with $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. All you have to do is use promo code HMA. I've had a great time on Prize Picks so far. It makes this daily fantasy thing very easy, and it makes watching the games way more exciting. Be sure to check out the social feeds feature so you can share lineups with your friends and tail partners or even fade their picks. Right now, Prize Picks is offering odds on the NFL draft. You have who's going to go where, what each team is going to do, how many of each position is going to go in each round, and so on and so on. Get on over to Prize Picks. Take advantage of that. So download Prize Picks today, America's #1 sports app, and remember to use the promo code HMA. And remember, always gamble responsibly. Okay, so today is going great, people. Today is going great. Yeah, I would have loved Arvell Reese to fall to 32 or whatever, but that was never going to happen. I would have loved Jeremiah Love to fall to 32. That was never going to happen either. We have division rivals doing things that I think are not good. I mean,
Why
Love
not
is
trade
good.
back for Simpson? I don't get it.
Thank you, Jake. Yeah, so now I see what you were talking about with the comment about Dan Orlovsky. But yeah, I think that's a bad pick. I think that's a bad idea. All right, Ravens pick is coming in. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the video there. But that was a long, unfortunately, a little bit longer than I wanted reaction to the Rams picking Ty Simpson. And I'm happy. That was about the best case scenario. I don't think you could have done much better from the Seahawks perspective as the Rams. All right. 49ers going to pick later. Go Hawks. Okay. We are back. So, yeah, Simpson was the play. I'm in shock. I don't know what to say. Ravens probably going to take Vega here. Or Sadiq. Okay, yeah, Vega, the guard. That makes sense. That's a good pick. Okay, where did I have Ty Simpson on my big board, by the way? I had him in the 3rd round. I had Ty Simpson as the first pick. I had him at 65 on my big board. Oh, that's money. Okay, let me... Okay, who's the pick at 15? Tampa? What is Tampa going to do here? Does Tampa take Bain, keep him in state? Yeah. You said this draft pick isn't good. Which pick are you talking about? Yeah, Ruben Bain would make sense here. No, I do think Ty Simpson's a bad pick, but this draft coverage is. Are you talking about me, Big Country? Or are you just talking about the networks? Yeah, Bane to Tampa Bay would make some sense. Okay, networks. All right. All right. Come on, Tampa. What you got? My big board's actually doing really well this year. There's only been one massive reach and one minor one based on my big board. Come on, somebody take Bane so I can get the rhodium tier out of here. And hopefully we have players left from the palladium tier when we're done. Hey Scott, how you doing? Good to see you. I was scared Rams would get McCoy. Well, it looks like Rams fans hate the Ty Simpson pick. For whatever it's worth, Jake hates it. Every Rams fan in his replies hates it. So for whatever it's worth, Rams fans hate that pick, and I think they are correct to hate that pick. All right, Tampa Bay. Pick is coming in here. And by the way, everybody in the stream, if the Seahawks pick gets spoiled early, please don't post it in the chat. I want to try to actually react to it. I know that the networks are behind, but I want to actually have like a real reaction. I'll turn the stream off when our pick comes up, but just be considerate of that kind of stuff. Some people still like to have fun with this draft stuff. All right, come on, Tampa. Hit us. 16 is the Jets. Jets coming up again. Ruben Bain. So he stays in state. Good pick, but it's risky. All right. Bain is out. We are now down to the Palladium tier. Best player left in my mind is Sadiq, followed by McCoy and then Falk. So pretty decent chance we end up with a shot at a Palladium tier player at 32. We just have to decide if we want it or not. Jets actually take Kenyon. That'd be a good pick. I do think that's a good pick, but you're taking a chance for sure. But in this draft, the upside, I get it, man. I just turn off chat around the 29th or 30th pick. Yeah, I may have to do that, which is unfortunate because that's the part of the time where you really want to interact with chat. But the problem is, it seems like the coverage is like 2 or 3 picks behind. Any guards left on the board? Well, only one guard's been taken, Vega. But there really aren't any guards worth taking with our first pick anyway, unless we trade way down. Like, you'd have to take Blake Miller and then move him to guard, and I don't know about that. Dunker's no longer worth 32. You got to trade down if you're going to get Dunker. Lemon has some problems. Yeah, I'm not a huge Lemon guy, but he's good. McCoy will be out for the 2026 season. I don't think that's true. I think they're saying that he'll be ready to go. He'll just maybe be behind. Would you get Makai Lemon at 32? The value would be right, but I don't know. I mean, I would do it, but I'm not trading up to do it. I'm not falling all over myself to get Makai Lemon. Pick is in for the Jets. Pick is in for the New York Jets. If they want to go offensive line, you have Blake. Yeah, I am thrilled. Who do you want for the Seahawks? I still like the Chris Johnson idea, but maybe we'll have the opportunity to get somebody better when our pick comes up. But Chris Johnson is still very high on my list. Chiefs might get McCoy. They'd be very they'd do very well to do that. I think that would be a good pick. Jets pick is in. Here we go. Yep, Sadiq. Good pick. I like it. As much as I like him too, it's one of those things where like we were never going to take him. So it's not like I'm sad to see him go or anything like that. Okay, who's got the 17th pick? It is Detroit.
What would you think about Chase Bisontis at 32?
Chase Bisontis at 32. I think Chase is a left guard. Maybe we can move him to right guard, but I still think he's like a mid-second rounder. I don't know. I'm not super excited for that. It would be okay. Yeah, it's okay. I'll be right back, guys. All right, I'm back. All right, so I don't know what the Lions have done. Their pick is in, though, so we will find out. And then Minnesota picks at 18. I wonder if Minnesota would have taken Simpson. Maybe they would have taken Simpson. And that's why the Rams had to jump. But, I mean, I don't think that's a very good reason to jump. Okay, thank you for the membership message. Rip to Sadiq's career. Yeah, well, I think he's a little too talented. But I get what you're saying. I like Rutledge, a true right guard. Rutledge is not worth the 32nd pick. Not even close. Maybe he's worth 64. If we take Rutledge at 32, that's like a Jermaine Ifedi-sized reach. I don't even want to think about that. That's like the exact kind of stuff we did that got us into trouble at post Legion of Boom. No, thank you. We can do better. We must do better. If Lemon is somehow there at 32, do we get him? I kind of feel like you'd have to at that point, but man, we don't need another receiver, that's for sure. Hard to justify, but I think you got to do it. Not at 32, 64. Yeah. Okay.
Can we get 5 big booms for Rams pick?
I don't have the boom sound effect on my soundboard. But I do, however, have... How about DMX? Oh, my soundboard doesn't work anymore. I must have not brought the clips over. Okay. Boom. 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 Boom, boom. Okay. That was pretty fire right there, man. I am still very happy with the way that played out. Okay, here comes the Lions pick. Billy takes Lemon. A.J. Brown might be on his way out. That's not bad. Okay, here come the Detroit Lions. Yeah, can the Patriots just fire Vrabel already? Like, this is getting ridiculous. Like, why does he still have a job? Like, this isn't like some little thing anymore. This has legitimately gotten really bad. Oh, Blake Miller. Not bad, actually. I like Blake Miller more than most people, though. He was on screen. He was one of my 5 best players remaining. Still 10 players left in Palladium tier. But we have like, what, 14, 13 more picks to get through before we pick. So it just depends. Okay, so Blake Miller. I didn't really want him because he's a tackle, but that's a pretty good pick in my mind. Minnesota. What's Minnesota going to do here? They could do a lot of different things. I don't know what to expect from the Vikings. And then you have Carolina after them. Vikings pick is in, so they are picking. Caleb Banks. Wow. I mean, I get that Caleb Banks has upside, and I liked him more than most people, but that is a little bit wacky to me. First defensive tackle off the board. Minnesota Vikings take Caleb Banks. I had him at 29, so he wasn't on screen yet, but he was close. I don't know about that one. That's very risky. I respect it, but I don't know if it's good, but I'm happy about it. That's a player that I did value that I didn't really want. If you know what I mean. Okay, what's Carolina going to do here? What does Carolina need? Does Carolina go Falk? Dallas traded? What did Dallas trade? Panthers pick is in. Okay, so the Cowboys and Eagles traded. And the Cowboys got a 4th round pick out of it. Eh. And a 5th. Oh, no, 2 fourths. Okay. Eagles probably want Lemon, right? That's got to be the play. They trade for Lemon and they trade A.J. Brown. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Philly getting Lemon makes a lot of sense. But who does Carolina get? Eldrick Falk would make some sense. Dylan Thieneman would make some sense. Mesidor, Parker, Freeling because of the injury with I don't know what's going on with Icky, but he's hurt, right? If McCoy's there at 32 and we don't take him, I'll be pretty sad. I may sing Linkin Park songs on stream if we don't get McCoy at 32. We're still in commercials, by the way. I don't think this draft is that random. There are some surprises, but overall, things are kind of proceeding as I thought. There are a couple of minor fallers, but not that many anymore. Like, Jermon McCoy falling is not a surprise. Keldrick Falk falling is not a surprise. Monroe Freeling, okay, that is kind of the Ike Ekwonu replacement, right? That's not bad. Okay, decent. Respect. Yeah, next year's draft is going to be great. I think next year's draft is going to be excellent. All right, Monroe Freeling is off of the board. Billy probably takes Lemon here, but we will see. Hit. Eagles got Lemon. Yeah, I'm expecting that. But I'm not going to put it up until I see it. Eagles pick is already in. Does Roger Goodell look disheveled, or is it just me? Somebody in chat, tell me. Does he look disheveled like he just got out of bed? Or am I imagining that? Yep, Lemon. Good pick. No hate on that one. I don't think is anybody mad that the Eagles got Lemon? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know. Goodell doesn't look so great to me. All right, so we've got 8 players still left in my Palladium tier. What does Pittsburgh do here? Do they take Falk? Thieneman? Hayden McDonald? And then we got the Chargers. They need offensive line. But there aren't really a lot of offensive linemen left to take. Hmm. Sorry about that, guys. If Falk falls to us, I would do it. But for some reason, everybody hates Keldrick Falk now. I don't know why. Something's going on. Something happened with Keldrick Falk. I don't know what. But nobody seems to really want him anymore. No, CJ Allen's not off my board. Mm. Can you sell me on Falk? I don't know a lot about him. He's like a big edge. The problem is he might be too big. He's like 275, but he's a power edge. He's got a lot of power. He plays the run well, collapses the pocket with strength. He's just not very agile. He might not be a 3-4 stand-up edge, but that's up to McDonald if he can make it work with him or not. Steelers pick is in. This is going to take a minute because the draft is in Pittsburgh. So we probably won't get to it for a couple minutes here. Isn't a second rounder next year more valuable than pick 32? Well, I think you can make the argument. The issue is the picks do lose value when you push them out over a longer period of time. Who's your ideal pick right now? Jermod McCoy. Okay, yeah, they're doing the Renegade thing. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Renegade's a pretty good song. But if you're trying to appeal to a younger audience, you don't play classic rock, right? You swap out Renegade for like, I don't know. What's a music that young people listen to now? Sabrina Carpenter? You know what I'm saying? It's like you got to update a little bit to try to appeal to the right people. No problem, Jimmy John. Thank you. Black and yellow. Okay, here come the Steelers. And they can't take Ty Simpson, so we know they're not going to do quarterback, even though they literally don't have one. Rodgers is not signed right now. I keep somebody in chat saying they got Max. Max who? Max Ihanakor? Oh, okay. That's a bit odd. I like him. I don't know. That's okay. I'm not a huge fan of. I think he's a first round pick, but not by much. He was not on my screen yet. So that's not terrible, but yeah, I think you could have done better. Anyway, Chargers up next. They might have taken Ihanakor. And then Dallas picks after the Chargers. So what do the Chargers do? Do they take Pregnon? Do they take Falk? If you guys watched my videos, you'd know who that is. So it's your fault if you don't know who that is. Just saying. I do like him. I do like Max, but I I I don't even think he was the best offensive lineman left, but eh, it's okay. I don't know. I'm warming up to it a little bit, but I still don't love it. And again, I don't care. I'm not a Steelers fan. Pick is in for the Chargers. Niners pick is coming up soon here. Niners could take Falk. Does he fit their defense? He's like a big edge. Would they go edge again? I mean, they need it, right? Michael Williams didn't. Who knows? He's hurt now, right? Who knows what you have there? Okay, here we go. Goodell. Yep. Mesidor. I don't mind that. That's good for them. Although he was one of my favorite players left, he would have been a guy I would have been enthused by, so sad to see him go, but not surprised. Cleveland picks at 24. How did Cleveland get the 24th pick? Who did Cleveland trade with to get that pick? Caleb Lomu gets promoted to the screen, by the way. He's already 25. Well, there is some upside there, Joey. Like, sometimes it's good to be old because that means you're going to be better at the start. You're just going to have less upside to get better. But that's not the end of the world sometimes. Yeah, how did the Browns get this pick? Chiefs? Okay. If Thieneman falls to 32, I'm all over that. I would do Thieneman at 32 all day. I just wish he was a little bit bigger. He feels a little bit small for box work, which he's going to have to do here a little bit, but I still would do it. Oh, the Jacksonville trade. Right. Who are we feeling? Well, right now it's looking like McCoy might be there. And if McCoy's there, I can't resist. All right, Dallas is on the clock. No pick yet. Avion Terrell, yeah. He is probably better than Chris Johnson, but Chris Johnson's a better fit. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. So we have 9 picks to go. I have 7 players left in my Palladium tier. Howell would be so weird because I don't think Howell would be like a bad pick. I just don't understand how he fits on this defense. I don't, that doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't square with me. All right, come on, Dallas. Stop dragging your feet. Pick is in for Dallas. Pick is in for Dallas. Do they take McCoy? They need defense. Falk, maybe. Still in commercials. Hmm.
Would you take McDonald over Johnson at 32?
I think McDonald's better, but Johnson's a more obvious need, right? Like Caden McDonald, yeah, we need a nose tackle, but we don't necessarily need linemen.
Would you take McDonald over Johnson at 32?
I don't know why it's double playing the audio. Hold on. I think that fixed it, but I mean, I probably would, but it's very tight. Wow, Malachi Lawrence. It is a little bit of a reach, but I don't mind it. I had him at 37. Not enamored with it, but it's not bad. He is kind of fun. I just don't know why you'd pass up. There's better edges left. I guess you just wanted a pure Leo. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't know. It's kind of fun, but it's also kind of... It feels like you fell in love with the testing a little more than you should have. Maybe. Does that make sense? That's kind of the vibe I get. Yeah, I would be happy with anyone from the Palladium tier because I would assume... Oh, Brown's pick is in, by the way. If we pick somebody like a Keldrick Falk, McDonald believes he can make it work with him. Okay, we are getting Buffalo's pick after that. What does Buffalo do? They need defense. There's actually a lot of good... Wow, everyone in Palladium's a defensive player. They're probably going to take one of them. All right, what does Cleveland do, though? Do they take another offensive lineman? Oh, Chicago. My bad. Hmm. Chicago needs a corner. They could take McCoy. Okay, Hydro, you don't have to spoil the pick. Don't worry about it. It's cool, man. But if they did actually take... If they actually took Concepcion, I think that's pretty bad. Yeah. He might be the best receiver left, but... Ugh. Dear old Jimmy John. Thank you for the membership. Elite level channel member. Thank you. Yeah, I don't really care that much if you spoil these picks, but it is a little bit more fun when you're able to like learn stuff as it actually gets announced. Buffalo getting Thieneman would make a lot of sense. Yeah, Hydro, we heard you. It's okay, dude. Chill. All right, Browns. Let's see if they do it. I think Chris Brazell's a better receiver than Concepcion, honestly. Yeah, I had Concepcion at 47 on my big board. Wasn't big. He's not bad or nothing, but you can do better. Hmm. Yep, KC. I don't know. Not a fan. I think you could have done better. He might be the best receiver left other than Brazell. And I liked Brazell more than most people, but eh. Okay. So this is the Bears pick. And then we get Buffalo.
Good being with you last 4 or 5 years. Thoughts on Colton Hood or Brandon Cease? Go Hawks.
Thank you for the 4.99, Robert. I think Hood and Cisse would both be very strong, like early second round picks. So if you get them at 32, it's fine. I think Colton Hood should be in like a heavy press scheme, so I don't know if he's perfect for us. And Cisse's more of a man corner, but they can learn. They can get better in zone. So I really like both. I would be happy with either. But I'm a fan of Johnson because he's already a zone guy, and also a fan of Terrell because he's also, I think, a little bit more of a zone guy. You know, honestly, I'm so happy about the Rams taking Simpson. I don't even care if we pick somebody I don't like here. To me, the Rams picking Simpson is so bad that it almost feels like we won the draft already. All right, Bears pick is in. Was the Milrow pick worse than the Rams taking Simpson? Oh, the Simpson pick is way worse. Milrow was a third round pick. Simpson was 13th overall. It's not even close. McCoy at 32 justify a celebratory hot tub stream? It does, but I wouldn't do it because I'm going to be too busy tonight. Even if McCoy doesn't play until 2027, I would still do it. In this draft, I think that's still worth it. I've seen worse picks than Ty Simpson, but I think that is a bad pick. Oh, Houston traded up? Okay, yeah, I see that now. Houston probably trading up to draft Pregnon? Lomu? One of those two? Lomu or Pregnon, probably. They're not going to trade up for a defender. I think they're trading up for the offensive line. Do you have any idea on why the Rams front office is justifying the Simpson pick? I mean, it's not hard to justify in the sense that Stafford's going to retire soon, but the Rams should not be drafting for the future beyond Stafford. They should be drafting for the right now with Stafford. Simpson's not going to help you win in 2026. I think Jimmy G's going to retire. All right, come on, Bears. Let's see it. No, we have no comp picks in this draft. We're probably going to get 4 in next draft. Dylan Thieneman goes to the Bears. That's a good pick. I like it. The Bears have won the draft bowl. Dylan Thieneman. And that brings us to Houston. And then we have San Francisco. So after Houston punches their pick in, I'll start cutting a video for the Niners. I'll take the chat off screen. And yeah. Oh no, I think I just saw the Houston pick. And it's really bad. Oh no. That better have been fake. I may have just seen what the Texans did and I hate it. Yeah, that's what I saw too. Keelan Rutledge. Rutledge should probably be like an early third-round pick. If they actually took him here, I think that's a disaster. Yeah, I have him at the very back of the second. I have him at 64 on my big board. Oh, boy. And that's with guys like Pregnon on the board. Lomu's on the board. Dunker is on the board. Byzantis is on the board. Like, that is a catastrophe in my mind. You probably could have gotten Rutledge at, like, your second-round pick. Did San Francisco trade back? Guys, I think San Francisco just traded back. Yeah, I think they did. They were, yeah, they traded back with Miami. Miami traded the pick they got for Waddle, and now they are picking after Houston. Yeah, okay. Okay. Be right back, guys. If you like sports, the best way to make them better and more exciting is using Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. Prize Picks, all you got to do is pick more or less on your favorite players' projections and build lineups with a few taps. It's the daily fantasy stuff, but it's made super easy over there. Whatever sport you're into, give it a shot. And right now, Prize Picks is hooking up users with $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. All you have to do is use promo code HMA. I've had a great time on Prize Picks so far. It makes this daily fantasy thing very easy, and it makes watching the games way more exciting. Be sure to check out the social feeds feature so you can share lineups with your friends and tail partners or even fade their picks. Right now, Prize Picks is offering odds on the NFL draft. You have who's going to go where, what each team is going to do, how many of each position is going to go in each round, and so on and so on. Get on over to Prize Picks. Take advantage of that. So, download Prize Picks today, America's #1 sports app, and remember to use the promo code HMA. And remember, always gamble responsibly. Yeah, they did it. They did it. They did it. They actually went and did it. They drafted Keelan Rutledge. I think that's a little bit of a disaster. I hate it. Okay, Miami's on the board now. Okay, I don't hate it for the Seahawks. Don't get me wrong. I'm very happy for the Seahawks that that pick was made. But from the perspective of a fan of the Houston Texans, I would be very unhappy right now. Okay, so then Miami and then Buffalo. What did Miami give up to San Fran, by the way? It better not have been a lot. Okay, pick is in for the Dolphins. Let's see what they got. We may have to watch these commercials first. $30 and $90 for 27. Ugh. That's actually pretty good for the Niners, I think. That's pretty good for the Niners. especially if the Niners are still able to get somebody really solid here. So we'll see. Feels like the Dolphins are taking Boston. Believable. Okay, we're in commercial, so we don't know what's going on with Miami yet. Who is the dream pick right now? I'd go with McCoy. I would still say McCoy. I believe in his game. McCoy probably would have been the top corner in this draft if not for the injury. Okay, Dolphins pick coming in here. Ooh, that was my boy right there, Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson. Okay. All right. Well, rip the dream. That was my boy. But if I'm being straight honest, there are two corners that I think are better than Chris Johnson left. It's just that Chris Johnson was a better fit for McDonald's defense, I think. But I think that there are still some players that are going to be better than Chris Johnson left. Yeah, maybe McCoy's medicals. That would be the one thing with McCoy. Maybe the medicals are so bad we can't take him. Like, I'm not going to argue with that too much. Like that's just one of those things where we don't know because we're just dudes. You know what I mean? Oh, New England traded up, I guess. New England traded up to 28. Okay. So why is Buffalo not interested in taking any of these players? They could use more players.
How bad would McCoy injury have to be for you to think passing on him is better than taking him?
We would have to believe that it's chronic. If we believe the injury is something that's going to derail his career, then okay. All right. New England Patriots pick is in. Yeah, I think the McCoy thing is just one of those things where you have to trust that the team knows what's up. And I don't always say that, right? Like, I did not trust this team when we drafted Jordan Brooks. I didn't trust them when they drafted Elijah Arroyo, but the McCoy thing is interesting because of the injury. It's hard to ignore that. All right, here we go. Number 28, New England, they're picking. Caleb Lomu. So they must be moving Campbell to guard, right? That's got to be what that is. A good pick. I think that's a good pick. Don't get me wrong. No hate, but that must be what's going on. They must be planning on moving him. So we got San Francisco coming up in a minute here. Wow. We're definitely trading back. I don't know, man. TJ Parker's got to be tempting. Terrell's got to be tempting. I'm not convinced. We'll see. And it depends on what offers are there to trade back to. Seahawks trading down. Pretty good chance. Definitely. It's a real possibility. Okay, after we get this Kansas City pick, I'm going to start cutting a video for the Niners. Okay, pick is in for the Chiefs. So once we get this announcement, I'm going to take the chat down and off the screen. Okay, let's just go ahead and get rid of it now. And I'm going to have to move quickly on the Niners thing because we're picking right after the Niners. We have one buffer pick with Buffalo. So as soon as we get this announcement from the Chiefs, I'm going to go with it. All right, so I'm not looking at chat right now because we're going to start getting spoilers here that I actually care about a little bit. But we got to get this Kansas City pick in. They could definitely take a corner here, which I wouldn't be enamored with, but I could live with it. And we are in commercials, by the way. So that's why we're waiting. But things are getting exciting, guys. And this did end up going a little quicker than it has in previous years. So them shortening the time for the picks has actually worked quite well. Dang commercials. Oh, the Jets traded up. The Jets traded up with... Okay, so there's no Niners pick. So the Niners actually lead off tomorrow. Okay, that's fun. Okay, well, that makes things a little bit easier for me. Okay, I'm down with that. One less thing to think about today. The Niners must really not like this draft very much. All right, so the Chiefs... I'll go ahead and put the chat back up on screen for a little bit here. Peter Woods. Interesting choice for a team that has a lot of money invested in Chris Jones, but okay, Peter Woods. I'm not the biggest fan in the world of him, but I did have him at 35 on my board at this point, so it's not a bad pick. And yeah, we are now going with the New York Jets at 30. And then we get Buffalo. Okay, I'm pretty happy about that. So now there's 2 teams left, and we have 5 players in my Palladium tier. Even if you believe that, like, McCoy's off the board because of the injury and Falk isn't a fit, you still have choices here, and you're going to have good choices when the pick comes up. Okay, take the chat off again. Okay. Done. Okay, I'm not looking at any chat stuff right now because we are probably at the point where the Seahawks pick is starting to become known. Yeah, okay. The Jets. So what do the Jets do here? Do the Jets take McCoy? Maybe that's why they traded up. We don't have a first round pick. Is that a Packer fan? I think it's a Packers fan. Jets pick is in.
Did we just miss out on a generational talent by missing on Johnson? Should have we traded up a bit to get him? Doesn't seem like was too expensive too.
Johnson's definitely not generational. Let's not go too far with it. Like, Omar Cooper Jr. Okay, so I know we are at the point now where the pick is probably going to get spoiled very soon because Buffalo's up. So do not send me super chats about the pick until after I'm done actually saying the pick on the video I'm going to record. right? Like, I took the chat off already, so we don't have to worry about that. But do not super chat or tip with anything about the pick until I address the pick directly on stream. Okay, where did I have Omar Cooper? I know I wasn't a huge fan of him. Yeah, I had him at 66. I was not... I don't know. That's another little bit of a head scratcher to me. That was like a third rounder to me. Okay, what does Buffalo do here? I don't think Buffalo takes McCoy. They need somebody that can help them now. But they could take Avion Terrell. Oh, Tennessee just traded up. Tennessee's picking instead of Buffalo. Buffalo keeps trading back. Huh. Buffalo doesn't like this draft. Hmm. 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 Okay, we still have the pick for now. Pick is in for the Titans. So once this pick gets punched in... Hmm. All right, so the Titans... Let's see. Let's see. Don't really know what to expect here. Both Tennessee corners still available. Seattle is not traded out yet. They still might. But as of this moment, they have not traded out of their 32 pick yet. Okay, here comes Mr. Roger. And then Seattle's on the clock, and we see what happens. Keldrick Falk. Okay. I like it. A lot of people got really not happy with Keldrick Falk by the time the draft came around, but I think in the right defense, he can be a big problem. I don't know if he was a fit for our defense, but I think he could have been. Okay. So now we are going to go ahead and I'll give it another second and then we're going to start recording, and we're going to talk about stuff. Okay. All right, everybody. The big moment is here. The Tennessee Titans just picked at 31, so the Seahawks are the only team left to pick today. As of this moment, they still have the pick. 32nd overall. They haven't traded yet, although that doesn't mean they won't. We don't know what they're going to do for sure until the pick is actually in. So, been an interesting day. From my perspective, it's been a pretty good day. I saw the Cardinals take what I viewed as a suboptimal pick. I saw the Rams make what I think was a really, really bad pick. And now we're just waiting to see what the Seahawks are going to do. And I will go ahead and record my live reaction here. I already took the chat off screen rather. So the chat won't be spoiling. The chat may already know what the pick is by now because the coverage is behind. But yeah, this video is sponsored by Prize Picks. More on them a little bit later. As of right now, there are 4 players remaining that I consider to be head and shoulders above everyone else left. You have Jermod McCoy, you have TJ Parker, you have Avion Terrell, and you have Caden McDonald. I would love to get any of those 4 guys. McCoy, clearly the medicals are bad. Worse than we thought. There is no way McCoy should be down here unless the medicals are bad. I would still be willing to take him. I would still be willing to take that risk because we can afford it. And in this draft, somebody with the potential of a Jermod McCoy, who probably would have been the best corner in the draft if he was healthy, that is something that I am game for right now. So I will admit that this is going to be a circumstance where, as a fan of the team, you just have to acknowledge that there are things the team knows that you don't. And when it comes to medical stuff like this, you just have to trust that they know something. So if the Seahawks pass on McCoy here, it is going to hurt on some level, but there's going to be another level where I'm like, this is probably because of the medicals. This has to be a medical thing. So I can understand that. But even if you don't do that, you've got another corner that is perfectly good there. I think he's probably a corner that should be a first round pick. So you got Avion Terrell, Clemson guy. There are some concerns. He didn't test great. He is a little bit smaller than you might have liked, but really good player. And if we come away from this draft with Avion Terrell, I think that's a great pick. You've got TJ Parker. I think he's the perfect kind of an edge rusher for what Mike McDonald likes to do defensively. So I would be on game with that. And Caden McDonald, a true nose tackle and a really good one. I think he could be the final piece of this defense that would make them pretty much impossible to move the ball on, at least regularly. So those 4 guys are the guys that I'm really looking at here. Now, that doesn't mean I'm immune to the possibility of a trade down here. I think a trade down could work as well because some of these players will still be there. If you trade back a few spots, you're still going to have the opportunity to take one of those 4 guys. You could trade back several spots and still have a potential chance to take one of those guys. Or you could just settle for somebody who I view as being a little bit less of a prospect, but still very good, like a Brandon Cisse, like an Emmanuel Pregnon if you're moving him to right guard, like a Zion Young. So even Anthony Hill Jr., I know people would get kind of tilted if we took a linebacker, but Anthony Hill Jr. is really good. I would not object to that at all. Even EMW could be a lot of fun. CJ Allen, I would not be against. Colton Hood, as much as I don't think he's a great fit for what we're doing. Ooh, pick is in. Seattle Seahawks pick is in. They are picking. They are not trading. They are not trading down. So, what do we got, people? What do we got? Oh, John Schneider is giving high fives. That's what we got going on right now. John Schneider is giving high fives and handshakes. Pick is in. I'm sure my whole chat already knows what it is. McCoy, Parker, Terrell, McDonald. Those are my top 4, but there are other guys too that would work fine. Pregnon, Cisse, Young, Hill, EMW, CJ Allen, Colton Hood. Would not object. So let's see. Maybe we'll get the curveball too. Okay, where are you, Roger? Come on, Roger. Here we go. There may be a little bit of a lead up here because we have the last pick. So there's a chance that he milks this a little bit because it's the last pick of the day. Okay, yeah. So we're going to get a little bit of a lead up here. And by the way, tomorrow, the first two picks, San Fran and Arizona. So we're going to start off tomorrow with a double whammy of division rival picks, and we're not going to get to our pick until like 2.5, 3 hours in. All right, Roger Goodell. Oh, we've got a okay, I don't know who this is, but we've got a special guest up on stage to announce our pick. That's fun. All right. Just look, just to go ahead and say now, if it's Jadarian Price, I'm not going to be angry, but it is going to be a little bit underwhelming to me. I will just say that right now. So let's see. All right, Dylan, what you got for us? Dylan, okay. Jadarian Price. Okay, so a lot of people saw that one coming. A lot of people kind of knew that was going to be the direction we go here. But I was hoping that if this is the way we were going to go, we were going to be a little bit more inclined to move back for it. Now, the good news is we have a need for this kind of thing. We do need a running back. I understand that. He is somebody that's going to be able to do stuff for us immediately because we have the need. But I just do not see a particularly high level prospect here. I see a good running back that should probably be a second round pick in this draft. So beyond that, it's okay. You know, it's not a bad pick. I don't think it's a bad pick, but I find it to be somewhat unambitious. It feels a little bit, like I said, it feels a little bit like those picks that we have made in the past with players that we needed positionally, but didn't actually end up living up to what we needed because they weren't quite good enough. Like to me, Price is just kind of I don't think he's radically better than Jonah Coleman. I don't think he's better than Mike Washington. So I don't know. I'm not upset. I'm not angry, but I think you could have done better. All right. If you like sports, the best way to make them better and more exciting is using Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. Prize Picks, all you got to do is pick more or less on your favorite players' projections and build lineups with a few taps. It's the daily fantasy stuff, but it's made super easy over there. Whatever sport you're into, give it a shot. And right now, Prize Picks is hooking up users with $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. All you have to do is use promo code HMA. I've had a great time on Prize Picks so far. It makes this daily fantasy thing very easy, and it makes watching the games way more exciting. Be sure to check out the social feeds feature so you can share lineups with your friends and tail partners or even fade their picks. Right now, Prize Picks is offering odds on the NFL draft. You have who's going to go where, what each team is going to do, how many of each position is going to go in each round, and so on and so on. Get on over to Prize Picks. Take advantage of that. So download Prize Picks today, America's #1 sports app, and remember to use the promo code HMA. And remember, always gamble responsibly. All right, so yeah. Not a bad pick, but I do think you could have done better. I will admit that. But it's not surprising either. It's definitely one of those things where the tea leaves were kind of indicating we were going to go this way. And I don't think it is a terrible idea. I don't think it's as bad as like the Jermaine Ifedi pick. I don't think it's as bad as the LJ Collier pick, but I see some of the same seeds there where it seems to me that the logic is you needed a running back. So let's just take the best running back available, even though I'm not, I just don't see an overly special player there. I see a guy, but not bad. Okay, I'm gonna go and get on out of here. Draft day is over, so I will be going live pretty soon here. And tomorrow we are going to start with that 1-2 punch of the Cardinals and the 49ers. So there is going to be stuff to talk about pretty much immediately. But yeah, Jadarian Price is your pick at 32. It's okay. Hard for me to really sell this as anything overly exciting. But one thing that I will say, he will be able to play as a rookie a pretty decent amount because we needed a running back. And with Charbonnet out for a good chunk of this upcoming season, I think that it makes some sense. All right. I will talk to you guys later. Go Hawks. And yeah, day one is in the books. Got 2 picks tomorrow. Let's see what we do. All right. So let's see here. Jadarian Price, I had him at 61, so I was not a huge fan. It's, it's okay. Let me go ahead and get that updated here. And the Niners lead off tomorrow, I think. So we'll go ahead and just leave that here. And we go to Darian Price, RB, ND. I'm going to give that a B minus. I can't go B. Oh, shit. It's way too big. Oh, shit. God, I hate how small it is, though. Would anyone be upset if I just went like that? Everybody knows who that is, right? Everyone knows who Jay Price is. Okay. Okay, let me get the chat back up on screen here real quick. Yeah, it's not a terrible pick. It's definitely not a terrible pick. The pick is okay. I think it's unambitious, but I don't think it's bad. It's like the Star Trek reboot they did in 2009. It was perfectly fine as a movie, but it was very unambitious. Well, Walker was a second round pick, and I think Walker was a better prospect than Price. It's a little different. So now we don't have to worry about running back tomorrow. So we can go corner, we can go edge. But the thing is, who's going to be left when we who's going to be left when our pick is up? I don't know. Let's take a look at the big board here. There's no way McCoy's there at 64. TJ Parker won't be. Neither will Terrell. Maybe Cisse, but I don't think so. Maybe Zion Young. I doubt it. I think the best case scenario is like Colton Hood, Gabe Yakus, Cassius Howell. No, I don't think Price sucks. I just think that he's, plain Jane. He's all right, Is this a sign on Charbonnet's recovery is not coming along as well as we want? No, I think we knew that he was going to miss a lot of this season. I think we already knew that. All right. Yeah, that's kind of my thing. Like, he wasn't even a starting running back in college. I can only get so excited for that. And I know he wasn't starting because the guy in front of him was really, really good, but as a running back, think about how much easier your life is when you get to be the backup of the best running back in the country. Okay, so I have things to do tonight, and some of them will be here on YouTube, by the way. So me and Brandon are going to go live a little bit later tonight. I don't know exactly when, but me and him are going to go live, and then we're going to talk about this day of the draft, and then we're going to talk about tomorrow a little bit. So tune in for that. Me and him are going to go back and forth. We're going to chop it up, and I will probably have a video going live tomorrow morning. I'm going to have a video on the Bleacher Report as well. Okay. I think that's really about it. I think that's all there is to say right now, guys. So we made the pick, punched it in, and it's okay. You know, it's all right. I don't have a big objection here. So we've been streaming for about 3.5 hours. Any last second comments anybody wants to hit before we get on out of here? Do you think this guy better than what we currently have or what we could have gotten in free agency? Um, he might be better than what we could have gotten in free agency because free agency reeked for running backs, but I just don't think that's a good reason, especially at a position like running back. Yeah, there's nothing to get mad about, guys. I mean, I don't think it's a bad pick. I just find it unambitious. All right. So we're going to be picking up this coverage tomorrow at 4, by the way. We do have day 2. Good opportunity to use our second and third round picks on something nice. So hope to see you guys then. But Jadarian Price is your new Seattle Seahawk. And go ahead and sound off about that in any way you want to. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here. And you will see me soon live on YouTube. Go Hawks. Day 1 in the books.